you get a tariff, and you get a tariff. Oh, and you get a tariff. Oh, I can't forget you. You also get a tariff. That's how it feels right now. A little chaotic, a little crazy. Whether you're pro-tariff, con-tariff, whether you believe that this will be good for the country in the long term or really bad for the average consumer, that's not what this video is going to break down, because I am not an economist. I am not a trade expert. What I am is a gardening expert. I grow lots and lots of food for cheap to feed myself, my family, and my community. And that's what this whole video is about, hedging your bets, because one thing we know for sure is tariffs can potentially increase consumer prices. And global trade changes all the time. Countries get different regimes, they get different powers in place, they get different policies, and things are constantly changing. And if you want to weather those storms, if you want to be a little more recession proof, a little more tariff proof, these are three things that I would be focusing on right now, to help build a more solid food foundation for your family that is more economical in the long term. And that's what this whole video is going to be about. So before we hop into it, definitely like and subscribe, because that is how I'm going to continue to spread this knowledge and grow this channel. All right. Hopping in though, tariffs. I have seen the comment sections on any video that mentions tariffs, and let's just say I think y'all need a bare basic understanding of what tariffs are, okay? And I, again, not an expert. So let's just make it simple. Say the US says, you know what, 10% tariff on all tomatoes from Mexico, okay? Cool. This giant wholesaler that sells groceries in the United States says, we need to buy tomatoes from Mexico. They go buy tomatoes from Mexico for a set price. Then they have to spend a 10% tax, sends it straight to the federal government for the purchase of those tomatoes in Mexico. All right, that's basically the fundamentals of how tariffs work, okay? You can see this on all sorts of different sectors, automotives, car parts, all sorts of stuff. And tariffs are just a tax on importing that item. So that's bringing it into the country. The importer pays that fee. Now, typically what we see is importers passing that along to your average consumer, meaning now grocery store tomatoes that are being sold from that wholesaler are a bit more, and then the consumer ends up paying more of that. Why? Because that importer's operating costs have gone up because the tariffs have gone up, okay? So you might be saying, you know what, we should be buying our tomatoes from local farmers markets, we should be eating seasonally, yada, yada, yada. However you feel about that, that's not what this video is about. This video is just kind of about the status quo for the average consumer, because not everyone has access to farm fresh tomatoes at a farmer's market for an affordable price, okay? So this video instead is about these three things that you can do to help weather some of these costs that are associated with potential tariffs that could increase the cost of consumer goods. And the first and foremost, number one thing, and you're gonna be so shocked that I say this, is garden. Literally grow your own food, okay? I've been advocating for this forever. It is so much cheaper to grow your own food if you do it the right way, okay? For example, I have planted out onions. I have onions all over the place. I have probably about 90 onion plants. I'll be producing about 90 onions for under $3 because I grew them all from a seed packet. So affordable. And what we don't realize is a lot of food items are imports from other countries, meaning if you want to buy those tomatoes, a lot of times they come from Mexico. Strawberries come from Mexico. A lot of people don't realize how much food Canada actually produces for us. So if you're wanting to kind of curb the line on those tariffs, a really great, easy way is to start producing your own food. Some of the ones I really love to produce myself are berries, potatoes, onions, staple crops. Even if they're US produced, I still think it's a lot cheaper, but the more food you produce, the more you are likely to weather a recession or potential tariff increases. Next up, that brings me to the type of things you are planting. Heirloom seeds. I cannot stress heirloom seeds enough. I've got Bloody Butcher corn here. I've got also some heirloom lima beans. Heirloom seeds are a secret hack to surviving all of this, because a lot of people don't realize just how heavily import heavy and import reliant we are on seeds. seeds largely come from all sorts of different countries, and we ourselves do not produce a ton of seeds. So investing in seeds right now, good heirloom seeds, and mastering seed saving skills will ultimately save you tons in the long run. Because yes, it is really cheap to just go buy seeds, but if there are tariffs that make those seeds much more expensive, double the price potentially, and if that really limits the amount of people importing different varieties of seeds, you could potentially end up with a lot of variable prices on those seeds. By going ahead and purchasing heirloom seeds right now and mastering the art of seed saving, you're effectively locking in the price of growing that item for yourself in your local area, okay? And then the next one, this is the biggie. Tools. Yes, that's right. Okay, hand tools, good canning materials, things that make food production and food preservation easier are critical to invest in as soon as possible for two main reasons. One is we don't know what kind of tariffs are going to increase and have additional impact on consumer pricing, but also inflation, because these products are just inherently going to get a little bit more expensive year after year. So if you can go ahead and lock it in, that's one of the best ways to decrease inflation, is just going ahead and having the resources you need today. All right, but this is why this is so important. This gorgeous rake, I love it. Been using it for a while. This is not a rake. I don't know what this is. What are these called? Oh my gosh, my mind is breaking. Either way, this pitchfork, that's it, is what I use to clean my stalls out. This is made in El Salvador, all right? And this amazing shovel, all right, very common brand, good household brand in the US. This is manufactured in Brazil, all right? This is the reality, okay? These garden beds, they're all from China. I have a lot of US made canning equipment, thankfully, but not everything is being produced actively in the US. And even if it is, it's oftentimes not as affordable and economical for your average consumer to purchase. And I think that's the thought a lot of times behind these tariffs, is to try and level the playing field for domestic manufacturers. But for you as the average consumer, if you can buy this shovel, that's an excellent shovel, for the same price as one that's 2 to 3 times the cost, that's probably what you're going to do. And that's exactly what I did. And the thing is, this shovel is going to hopefully last me 5-10 years, a good long time. And the whole time that I am using it, it's going to be helping me produce delicious, economical, healthy food. So as your budget allows, now is the time to go ahead and start stockpiling some of your favorite tools.